ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष्व भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुस् तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, I welcome you to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for all session. Today is May 8th, 2026. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 9, Mother Yaśodā binds Lord Krishna. So far, we studied the first two verses. We read that once upon a time, which is the day of Deepavali, Yaśodā Mai, who is the Ardhangini of Nanda Maharaj, that means Yaśodā Mai, one who gives glory to Krishna as the one who is controlled by his devotees, who is bound by the love of his devotees. Yaśodā Mai gives this glory to Krishna, who gives this yasha to Krishna. And Yaśodā Mai, who is very fortunate, the way Nanda Maharaj is fortunate, in the same way she is also very fortunate in that she has this extreme Vatsalya prema for Krishna. Such Yaśodā Mai on this day of Deepavali, so this day means Krishna was about 3 years old. That year, on the day of Deepavali, she personally engaged in churning the yogurt. Why? Two reasons are said. One is because Krishna is stealing butter from others' homes. So she concluded this is because he didn't like the butter which is made in her house. So the butter was made by the maid servants. They are not doing it very nicely, the way it will be liked by Krishna. That means it's not being done with care, the way it is supposed to be done. Selecting the best milk from the best cows and cooking it slowly for a long time and completely cooking it. And then making yogurt with the right amount of culture. And after the yogurt is made, then churning it at the right speed. So when all these are taken care of, then you get the best outcome. So she thought she relieved all the maid servants from this duty. And she thought any personal service of Krishna, she will do it herself. She will not give it to the maids. That's why she was churning the yogurt herself. You can turn on the light also, it's dark. And the other reason is because it was Deepavali, there were a lot of services to be done in the house. Lakshmi Puja, so a lot of cleaning activities. And the next day was Indra Puja. And so many sweets and, preparations have to be done. So all the servants, they were engaged in other services, other activities. So she was doing it herself. So one of the two reasons. That was the first verse. And while she was churning, what was she doing? As she was churning, Yani yaniha gitani tad bala charitani cha dadi nirmantane kale smaranti tanyagayata. So whatever leelas that Sukadev Goswami has described so far about Krishna's childhood pastimes, those leelas Yaśoda Mai is remembering and singing. That means these leelas are composed in the form of a song. So she's singing them in the form of a song. Whatever leelas were described until now by Sukadev Goswami, all those leelas, Yaśoda Mai is remembering right from Krishna's appearance. She saw all those leelas, isn't it? So she's just remembering those leelas and she's singing them. And the other explanation is there are experts who compose songs about Krishna's pastimes, about pastimes of the various incarnations of the Lord. So experts had composed songs about Krishna's pastimes, so she's just singing those. Why is she doing this? Because now Krishna is in the next room. This is early in the morning in the month of Kartik, on the day, so this is Amavasya, the day of Deepavali. So in the month of Kartik, early in the morning, Krishna didn't wake up yet. He's sleeping in the next room. Yaśoda Mai is in the room where butter is churned. So she's not seeing Krishna. She's feeling separation from Krishna because of her intense love. She cannot spend even one moment. She cannot live without seeing Krishna for a single moment. So now, because she's not seeing Krishna, she's feeling an intense pain of separation from Krishna. To relieve herself from that pain, she's thinking, remembering Krishna's pastimes, and she's singing them. So if you remember in the purport, Srila Prabhupada said, this should be the practice of all devotees who aspire to remain Krishna conscious 24 hours a day. So by singing and remembering and singing about the pastimes of the Lord, you can remain in Krishna consciousness 24 hours. So we saw that. Then now we will see what happened after this. So while Yaśoda Mai was singing and remembering Krishna's pastimes early in the morning, as she was churning the yogurt, what happened? kṣaumaṁ vāsaḥ pṛthu-kaṭi-taṭe bibhratī sūtra-naddhaṁ putra-sneha-snuta-kuca-yugaṁ putra-sneha-snuta-kuca-yugaṁ jāta-kampaṁ ca subhrūḥ rajjv-ākarṣa-śrama-bhuja-calat-kaṅkaṇau kuṇḍale ca svinnaṁ vaktraṁ kabara-vigalan-mālatī nirmamantha. I tried Janmadhya Sayatonvayad meter. I can read one more time. kṣaumaṁ vāsaḥ pṛthu-kaṭi-taṭe bibhratī sūtra-naddhaṁ putra-sneha-snuta-kuca-yugaṁ jāta-kampaṁ ca subhrūḥ rajjv-ākarṣa-śrama-bhuja-calat-kaṅkaṇau kuṇḍale ca. svinnaṁ vaktraṁ kabara-vigalan-mālatī nirmamantha. So, if you remember, we discussed there are some special features of this particular pastime. This pastime is meant for the aspirants of Vatsalya Rasa, those who aspire to attain Vatsalya Rasa. That means they want to get motherly love for Krishna. For them, so those Sambandhanuga devotees. So in Ragatmika devotees, there are two types. There is Sambandha Rupa, Kama Rupa and Sambandha Rupa. Kama Rupa means Madhurya Rasa, conjugal relationship. All the other relationships come under Sambandha Rupa. And those who follow the Kama Rupa Ragatmika devotees, they are called Kamanuga Bhaktas. That like Raganuga, Kamanuga. That means they are following the Kamarupa devotees. Because they are following, they are called Kamanuga. Sambandhanuga means those who are following the Sambandharupa Ragatmika devotees are called Sambandhanuga. So this Leela, especially if this whole Leela. So in this Leela, this particular verse that we are going to read, this verse is describing Yaśodā Mayi. This verse is describing what about Yaśodā Mayi is being described here. How Yaśodā Mayi appeared while churning the yogurt. What is her appearance while she was churning the yogurt? And what is her consciousness while she is churning? That's being described. Yaśodā Mayi is the ideal mother of Krishna. She is the example of Vatsalya Rasa. That means she is the best. So therefore, anyone who wants to develop that love of a mother for Krishna must meditate on Yaśodā Mayi because she is the example, she is the ideal. So, if you want to meditate on Krishna's mother, then you should have some information about her form, about her qualities, about her activities. That's when you can meditate, isn't it? So here we will see her beauty is described. That means, how does the ideal mother of Krishna look? What is her form? What are her qualities? These will be explained in this verse. Why is Sukadeva Goswami describing Yaśodā Mayi's beauty and qualities? Because she is the example for Vatsalya Rasa. She is the ideal mother of Krishna. Krishnasya eva Yaśodā anurupa mata. Krishnasya eva, this is Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Krishnasya eva Yaśodā anurupa mata. That means for Krishna, Yaśodā Mayi only is the befitting mother. Only Yaśodā Mayi is befitting the position of Krishna's mother. That means that post is reserved for Yaśodā Mayi only. Nobody else can take that position. It is not that one can compete with Yaśodā Mayi and take her position, or you aspire to become better than Yaśodā Mayi. No, not like that. That is reserved for her. She is the topmost in Vatsalya Rasa. Nobody should try to capture her position. And similarly, in Madhurya Rasa, the topmost position is that of Srimati Radharani's. Nobody should try to compete with Srimati Radharani or take her position or try to become better than Srimati Radharani. No. These positions are eternally reserved for them. So now people who are aspiring for Vatsalya Rasa may be thinking, how does Yaśodā Mai look? You know, how does she dress? And what are her qualities? So for them to meditate on Yaśodā Mai, they need to have this information. Vatsalya rasopasakanam, Vatsalya rasa upasaka. Upasaka means those who worship. Vatsalya rasa upasakanam means plural, those who are worshippers or devotees of Vatsalya rasa. Avashya kartavyam, Sri Krishna Matur Dhyanam. It is essential for them, for those who are aspiring for Vatsalya rasa, it is essential for them to meditate on Sri Krishna's mother. Who is the mother of Sri Krishna? Ideal mother of Sri Krishna? Yaśodā Mai. So to meditate on Krishna's mother, you should know her form, qualities and pastimes, her activities. If you want to know about anything, if you want to know about any object, you need to know three things. You have to know its form or its shape, right? Size, shape, form, you have to know. You have to know its qualities and you have to know its activities. It's essential. And this morning, I was reading Dhruva Maharaj's history. So there, Dhruva Maharaj, Narad Muni finds out that Dhruva Maharaj has gone to the forest. So Narad Muni went to meet Dhruva Maharaj. So initially, he tried to tell him that you're just a child, you shouldn't take the harsh words of the elders so seriously, just go back. And then when Dhruva Maharaj was not convinced by that, then he said, these things, honor, dishonor, they happen in this world. So you shouldn't be affected by dishonor, because if you become affected by dishonor, that also binds you. Again, you'll have to take birth in this world. You'll be stuck in this samsara. And besides, whatever is coming to you is the result of your own karma. What is the point in becoming offended? All this didn't happen. Dhruva Maharaj said, I appreciate whatever you said, and I know that it will help people who are affected by happiness and distress in this world. But because I'm in ignorance, your good instructions are not touching my heart. If you can help me how to achieve my goal. What is his goal? I want to get a kingdom even better than my father or grandfather. And if you can tell me of an honest means how to get that, please let me know. That means if you can help me in this, you can help me. Otherwise, don't stop my way. Let me go. So then Narad Muni saw he was determined and he said, whatever instructions your mother has given you, what was that? That you should go and worship the Supreme Lord. Only he can mitigate your suffering. In my opinion, nobody else can mitigate your suffering. Like this, Suniti told him. So Narad Muni said, you should do the same thing. You should go and worship the Supreme Lord. And then he gives the procedure that you go to the particular place, Madhuvan. Madhuvan means Braja. We have 12 forests. One of them is Madhuvan. So you go to Madhuvan and there in Yamuna, you take bath 3 times a day because the waters of Yamuna are sacred. They are auspicious. They are very pure. Take bath 3 times a day. And then you observe Ashtanga Yoga. So to observe Ashtanga Yoga, First of all, you sit in one asana properly, and then you do pranayama, and in this way control your senses, your mind, and then fix your mind on the Supreme Lord. But how do you meditate on the Supreme Lord? You need to know. A description has to be given. So there he describes the form of the Lord. Same three things are described. The form of the Lord, what type of dress he's wearing, what ornaments he's wearing, the garland, his crown, what weapons he's holding, the form of the Lord. And also the mood of the Lord. So the qualities of the Lord. So when anyone surrenders to the Lord is prepared to take full charge of that person. All you need to do is you need to just surrender to the Lord. When you surrender to the Lord, he is always prepared. It doesn't matter, whatever your background. So Narad Muni is describing the qualities of the Lord, how merciful he is. So form of the Lord is described, the qualities of the Lord are described. And finally, he also gave a mantra. And he said, you should chant this mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. While you're doing this Ashtanga Yoga practice, you should also chant this mantra. And also he told him that he should worship the deity. So how will you get a deity in the forest? So you can just use clay and water and make your own deity. And with whatever is available in the forest, fruits, flowers, vegetables, if nothing else is there, grass or some flower buds, or if that is also not there, some tree bark you can offer, and you worship the Lord. And then he said, you should also, while you're doing this, meditating on the form of the Lord, chanting this mantra and worshipping, you should also meditate on the activities of the Lord in his various avatars. That means Narad Muni must have described that also. My point is, for somebody to meditate on a particular Vishaya, object, you need these three things. You have to know the form, you have to know the qualities, and also the activities. Then you can meditate. So here, those devotees who are aspiring for Vatsalya Rasa, it is essential, Srila Rupa Goswami is saying, it is essential for them to meditate on Yaśoda Mai because she is the ideal mother of Krishna. Without meditating on Yaśoda Mai, one cannot develop Vatsalya Prema for Krishna. It is not possible. That's the point. Then to meditate on Yaśoda Mai, then you need to know what is the form of Yaśoda Mai, what are the qualities of Yaśoda Mai, what are the activities of Yaśoda Mai. These three things one has to know. Because when you meditate on Yaśoda Mai, you can develop motherly love for Krishna. That is your goal. Your goal is, that means one who is aspiring for Vatsalya Rasa, then that devotee's goal is to serve Krishna like a mother, to develop that love for Krishna like a mother. To do that, you have to follow in the footsteps of Yaśoda Mai. To follow in the footsteps of Yaśoda Mai, you have to meditate on Yaśoda Mai. To meditate on Yaśoda Mai, you need to know her form, her qualities, and her activities. That is why these details are given in this pastime. In the beginning itself, it is said, this Leela is essential. It's important for those who are aspiring for Vatsalya Rasa. So now we will read what's going on in this verse. So we will see in this verse what is going to be described. Because her form is going to be described. In her form, we will see her beauty will be described first. Then the various decorations, how she decorates herself is described. And third, while she's doing this churning activity, while she's churning yogurt, what is happening to her? What is happening to her as she's churning is described. So what are the three things that are described? First, her beauty is described. Then her decorations. Beauty means her natural features, like her bodily features, how beautiful she is. That is described. Then after that, apart from her natural beauty, how she decorates herself, that is described. And then while she's churning, so now the third thing is the activity. While she's doing this activity, what's going on in her? What is happening to her? That is explained. So now we'll see. So we'll see the beauty first. Pṛthu-kaṭi-taṭe. Kaṭi-taṭe. And subhrūḥ. So these two are explaining her beauty. Subhrūḥ means her eyebrows. Subhrūḥ means her eyebrows. Her eyebrows are very, very beautiful. Naturally. Not that, ladies go to the beauty parlor to shape their eyebrows, isn't it? Yaśodā didn't have, just imagine, to describe Yaśodā's beauty, her eyebrows are described. Just her eyebrows. She had the most beautiful eyebrows. Subhrūḥ. Bhruḥ means eyebrows. Subhrūḥ means very beautiful eyebrows. And the other limb of Yaśodā that is described is pṛthu-kaṭi-taṭe. So that means her hips are described. Pṛthu-kaṭi-taṭe means her large hips are described. That means her hips were very beautiful. Yaśodā's hips were very beautiful, wonderful and beautiful. Only two limbs or parts of her body are described, and it is explained, iti upalakshanena sarvanga saundarya vyanjitam. That means simply by naming these two, her eyebrows and her hips, by upalakshana. Upalakshana, you understand, right? You mention one, and by that, it implies everything else. All of you know this example, that when the mother tells her child that I'm going to the neighbor's house. Meanwhile, you protect the yogurt that I made from crows, right? Yogurt is made and it is kept there. Crows may come and eat it, so you protect the yogurt from crows, saying that mother went to the neighbor's house. So that does not mean the child will only protect the yogurt from crows. The idea is yogurt has to be protected. That means protect from crows. If monkeys come, you have to send the monkeys away also. If cats come, dogs come, you have to protect from everyone. This is called upalakshana. She has said crows, but from that crows, by upalakshana, you should understand anything which is harmful to that crow, to that yogurt, all those things should be, warded off. That means that yogurt must be protected from anything which is harmful to that yogurt, not only crows. Crows is given as one example, but that means everything else is counted. Similarly, here, by upalakshana, her Yaśodā's eyebrows and her hips are described, that they are beautiful. But just, these two things are mentioned as example. With that, you should understand, you should take all her limbs, sarvanga, all the limbs of her body are very, very beautiful. By upalakshana, you should understand that is being said. So in beauty, her eyebrows and her large hips are mentioned as most beautiful. But by upalakshana, by these two, we should understand that all her other limbs of the body are extremely beautiful. Then the second thing is Vaishya Saundaryam. Vaishya Saundaryam means how is she decorated? How did she dress herself? So you see, kṣaumaṁ vāsaḥ. Kṣaumaṁ vāsaḥ. Vāsaḥ means her sari. It is kṣaumaṁ means saffron colored or yellow colored. About her sari, it is said, vāsaḥ. So the details are given in the commentary. So I'm explaining from the commentary. You won't see it in the verse itself. In the verse, you're seeing vāsaḥ. Vāsaḥ means the sari which Yaśodā Mai wore. But what is the description of that sari? I'm just explaining to you. Atasi tantutam. Atasi is a plant. A plant that produces blue flowers. Atasi flowers. This plant has a bark. From the bark of Atasi plant, threads are made. Tantus. Yaśodā Mai was wearing a sari which is made of Atasi threads or resham. She's wearing a sari which is made with the threads of Atasi plant. Valkalam means she's wearing a sari made of threads coming from Atasi plant. What is the speciality of this sari, which is made of Atasi plant's threads? It is extremely soft. This sari is very, very soft. What else? Ati sūkṣmaṁ. Ati sūkṣmaṁ means it's very, very lightweight. Lightweight sari. So, in one place it is said that this sari is of different colors. That means it had different colors in it. But in Kramadipika, it is explained that this sari is yellow in color. Pitam. Like Krishna, Pitambari, right? He wears yellow dhoti, yellow chadar, yellow dress. Like that, Yaśodā Mai's sari is also yellow, like Krishna's. Saffron and yellow mixed is said in the translation of the words. So it's yellowish, yellow color. And what is the bodily complexion of Yaśodā Mai? Her bodily complexion is blackish. So blackish complexion with yellow sari. This is the most beautiful combination. Just like when you put on Krishna, he wears yellow dress, yellow dhoti, looks most beautiful. So similarly, Yaśodā Mai is blackish complexion according to Kramadipika. Her complexion is blackish. And she's wearing this yellow sari. And she's looking extremely beautiful. But according to Gautamiya Tantra, Yaśodā Mai's complexion is golden. She's of golden complexion. The color of the sari is not mentioned there. It is just said that Yaśodā Mai's complexion is golden. So you can take either one. So here in Kramadipika, it is that she's blackish complexion with yellow sari and she's looking most beautiful. This sari is very lightweight and it is soft, made from Atasi fibers, threads. What else? If you see, in the verse itself, it is said, kṣaumaṁ vāsaḥ pṛthu-kaṭi, that means yellow sari and large hips, pṛthu-kaṭi-taṭe, bibhratī, sūtra-naddhaṁ. Sūtra-naddhaṁ. Acha. Now, what is happening is, bibhratī means shaking, because she's churning, right? So we will come to that after some time when we talk about activities. So now we are talking about her dressing. Sūtra-naddhaṁ. Sūtra-naddhaṁ means just like you have a cloth which is tied around the waist, like Krishna. For the deity, we tie a cloth around the waist, isn't it? Looks very attractive. So Yaśodā Mai, on top of her sari, she has a cloth which is tied around her waist. That cloth is called sūtra-naddhaṁ. It is bound like a belt around her waist. It's not that she wears this cloth all the time. No. She is wearing this now specifically for the sake of churning. I explained to you yesterday how this churning is done. When there is large quantity, you put that yogurt in a big clay pot, and there is a pole, like a permanent pole. In front of that, this pot is kept, and there's a churning rod inside the pot, and there's a rope that goes around the pole and the churning rod, taking the support of the pole. Now, the yogurt is churned. So to do this, one has to stand up. So when you're churning like this, you need support, you need grip in your hands, and also your body needs grip to stand there and to churn like that. I think once upon a time, or I heard it, I didn't hear directly, but I heard other devotees say that Srila Prabhupada said the best exercise for ladies, like if you want to have a nice thin waist and you want to have a good figure, the best exercise is you churn butter, because you go back and forth like this, right? So that's the best exercise. You don't need to go to gyms and all that. You just churn butter. And in another place we studied, when we were discussing, Nandotsav, it is described how the ladies, the gopis, were naturally very beautiful. And there in the purport, it is explained by Srila Prabhupada, their food, natural food, they are eating, milk products and freshly grown vegetables and fruits and grains. And their lifestyle, the women are churning butter, churning yogurt to make butter. So this type of lifestyle, by living this type of lifestyle, naturally they are so beautiful. And there's description also how they look, they have big hips and thin waist and so on and so forth, like that. So anyway, now Yaśodā Mai is churning, but for this churning, you need to have a grip. The body needs some grip. So therefore, at the time of churning, she ties a cloth, a waist cloth around her waist. You must have seen, even those who do heavy physical work, in India, I have seen nowadays, we don't see that. But, like those who pull rickshaws, or those who work in the farm, in the fields. When you do, Rasapriya, when you do work, they tie a cloth around the waist, because that supports the body. It gives grip for the body. So therefore, Yaśodā Mai, she ties this cloth only when she is churning butter. It is not that she has it all the time. No. Only when she's churning, she has this. So Yaśodā Mai is wearing a yellow sari, and she has a waist cloth tied around her waist. Okay. Nivibandham, or here in the verse it is said sūtra-naddhaṁ. Okay, it's called Nivibandham. So this is a description of her decorations. And how did she look while she's churning? So now she's churning. She's doing this activity of churning. So you saw what all she wore. Now she's churning. So while she's churning, how did she look and what is happening? So she's pulling the rope with both her hands, right? That means one hand she's pulling and she lets go with the other hand. Then with that hand she will pull and she'll let go. So with that, the rod is moving clockwise and anti-clockwise. While pulling the rope, her hands are moving back and forth, and she has bangles in her hand, kaṅkaṇau, right? So, rajjv-ākarṣa-śrama-bhuja-calat-kaṅkaṇau kuṇḍale. Rajjv-ākarṣa. Rajju means the rassi, the rope, churning rope. Akarsha. Akarsha means pulling. So when she's pulling the rope of the churning rod, Shrama, she's doing hard work. It's exercise. She's doing hard work. While she's pulling this rope, Bhuja-calat, her arms are moving like this. Bhuja means arms. Arms are moving. Chalat. By that, kaṅkaṇau kuṇḍale bibhratī, right? Her kaṅkaṇau means her bangles, kuṇḍale, her earrings, they're swinging back and forth. Because of this movement, while she's churning like this, her bangles are moving and her earrings are also swinging back and forth. Svinnaṁ, vaktraṁ, kabara-vigalan-mālatī, nirmamantha. Okay. So why this is happening? Shrama, because of the labor. And not only something else before that. Putra-sneha-snuta-kuca-yugaṁ, jāta-kampaṁ ca subhrūḥ. Putra-sneha-snuta. That means because of putra-sneha, because of love for Krishna, because of her vatsalya prema, snuta means becoming wet. What became wet? Kuca-yugaṁ. That means her breasts, that means milk started flowing. Milk started flowing because of putra-sneha. Remember, while she's churning, she's remembering Krishna and she's singing Krishna's pastimes. So because of that, milk started flowing from her breasts and then it became wet. Kuca-yugaṁ, jāta-kampaṁ ca subhrūḥ. And because of this activity, we said pṛthu-kaṭi-taṭe bibhratī. That means her hips are shaking, her breasts are also shaking, then her bangles are shaking, shaking, and her earrings are also swinging. So various limbs of her body are moving, shaking because of this activity of churning, and she's looking so beautiful because of this. Okay. kṣaumaṁ vāsaḥ pṛthu-kaṭi-taṭe bibhratī sūtra-naddhaṁ putra-sneha-snuta-kuca-yugaṁ jāta-kampaṁ ca subhrūḥ. And even her eyebrows, they're very, very beautiful. Jāta-kampaṁ ca subhrūḥ. So this is how Yaśodā is looking. And rajjv-ākarṣa-śrama-bhuja-calat-kaṅkaṇau kuṇḍale. So her bangles, her earrings, they're all swinging back and forth. What else is happening? Because of this hard labor that she's doing, she's sweating. So when you sweat, generally you start sweating in the head, all parts of the body, but specifically in the head. So she has black hair, really black hair, Yaśodā has. And she's perspiring because of this churning, and drops of sweat are now falling from her black hair. They're coming down and they're falling down. So, svinnaṁ, vaktraṁ, kabara-vigalan. And how was this looking? Vaktraṁ means throughout her face. So, svinnaṁ means her black hair, and vaktraṁ means face, kabara-vigalan-mālatī. Acha. So they're dropping from her hair. So these drops of sweat are falling from her hair, but this is looking so beautiful. It's appearing, her black hair, it is compared. So if anybody saw Yaśodā while churning and drops of sweat falling all over her face from her head, from her hair, it looked like rain falling from a dark cloud. The drops of perspiration falling from her hair resembled rain falling from a dark cloud, a black cloud. And also, these drops of perspiration resembled Mālatī flowers. Malati flowers they look like jasmine, but they are not exactly jasmine. You may know. They are smaller. And these flowers come, especially they come in Kartik season, Kartik month, during that time. In Telugu, they're called Sannajajili. Very, they look like jasmine, but they're not jasmine. They're smaller, thinner. So the drops of sweat falling from Yaśodā Mai's hair looked like jasmine, malati flowers falling. It appeared like that. So this is the description. kṣaumaṁ vāsaḥ pṛthu-kaṭi-taṭe bibhratī sūtra-naddhaṁ putra-sneha-snuta-kuca-yugaṁ jāta-kampaṁ ca subhrūḥ rajjv-ākarṣa-śrama-bhuja-calat-kaṅkaṇau kuṇḍale ca svinnaṁ vaktraṁ kabara-vigalan-mālatī nirmamantha. This is happening while she is nirmamantha, means she is churning. As she is churning, then drops of perspiration are falling down. It appears like malati flowers falling down from the plant, or like rain falling from the cloud. So what is this description? This whole description gives an idea or gives an object for meditation. To whom? To the aspirants of Vatsalya Rasa. Those who want to get Vatsalya Rasa for Krishna have to meditate on Yaśodā Mai, because Yaśodā Mai is the ideal mother of Krishna. There's no other way. This is essential. They have to. Avashya kartavyam, it is said. This is, they have to. If they want Vatsalya Rasa for Krishna, they have to meditate on Yaśodā Mai. Then how to meditate on Yaśodā Mai? To meditate on Yaśodā Mai, you need to know her form, her qualities, and her activities. So that is described here. So this description is very helpful and required for those who aspire to get Vatsalya Rasa. Okay. So now we'll read Srila Prabhupada's translation purport, and then we will also read Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary. Translation. Dressed in a saffron-yellow sari with a belt tied about her full hips, Mother Yaśodā pulled on the churning rope, laboring considerably, her bangles and earrings moving and vibrating, and her whole body shaking. Because of her intense love for her child, her breasts were wet with milk. Her face, with its very beautiful eyebrows, was wet with perspiration, and malati flowers were falling from her hair. So, again, here it is said that actual flowers were falling. And in another explanation, it is said that those drops of perspiration falling from her hair looked like malati flowers falling. So you can take either one. Purport. Anyone who desires to be Krishna conscious in motherly affection or parental affection should contemplate the bodily features of Mother Yaśodā. It is not that one should desire to become like Yaśodā, for this is Mayavada. It's like, you meditate on Krishna so that you become, that's Mayavad. Right? Similarly, you cannot meditate on Yaśodā Mai so that you yourself will become Yaśodā Mai. No, this is Mayavad, Prabhupada is saying. Either in parental affection or conjugal love, friendship or servitorship, in any way, we must follow in the footsteps of the inhabitants of Vrindavan. That is why it is called Raga Anuga. Anuga means what? Following in the footsteps. Your aspiration is to become a servant. You will never become Srimati Radharani or Yaśodā Mai or Nanda Maharaj. No. We will aspire, our aspiration is to become a servant of that Brajbasi, that role model in Braja. So that's why not only in Vatsalya Rasa, in any relationship, we must follow in the footsteps of the inhabitants of Vrindavan. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Gopi Bhartur Padakamalayur Dasa 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 Dasanudasa. Not only a servant of that role model, but we aspire to become a servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. We have a whole Guru Parampara. Servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. And it's not that now I'm servant of the servant and after I go there, then I become directly. Not like that. Our aspiration is to always assist. Therefore, this description is provided here. I'll read that again. Either in parental affection or conjugal love, friendship or servitorship. In any way, we must follow in the footsteps of the inhabitants of Vrindavan. Follow in the footsteps of the inhabitants of Vrindavan. Not try to become like them. Right? You don't take their position. Therefore, this description is provided here. Advanced devotees must cherish this description, always thinking of Mother Yasoda's features, how she was dressed, how she was working and perspiring, how beautifully the flowers were arranged in her hair, and so on. One should take advantage of the full description provided here by thinking of Mother Yasoda in maternal affection for Krishna. So, of course, this meditation, see, this is their sadhana. Now, when we read, we are also thinking of Yasoda Mai. That's different. For them, that is their sadhana. Meditation on Krishna, on Yasoda Mai all the time. That is their sadhana. So, we are not aspiring for Vatsalya Rasa. Okay, so that is not sadhana for us in the line of Srila Rupa Goswami. We want to we are Kamanugas. Kamanugas means aspiring to get that Madhurya Rasa. And in Madhurya Rasa also, how? As a Manjari, Rasapriya. As a Manjari. That means assisting in the pastimes of Krishna with the gopis. So, as assistants. This is the role of Manjaris. And in that also, how do you assist? You assist the servant of the servant of the servant of Rupa Manjari, like that, because we are Rupanugas. So that has to be clear to us. But here, this description is, Srila Sukadeva Goswami is giving this description for those who are aspirants of Vatsalya Rasa. From here, for those Raganuga Bhaktas, here they get the subject matter for their sadhana, how to meditate. So now I will read the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and then we will go to Bhagavad Gita. So we read this one, third verse today. This verse presents the ideal of motherly affection for Krishna. Anyone interested in cultivating Vatsalya Bhava, parental love, should meditate upon the bodily form, qualities, features, and affection of Mother Yasoda described here. So what should they meditate on? The bodily form, the qualities, features, and affection of Mother Yasoda described here. Yasoda's yellow sari, kṣaumaṁ, was very fine, being made from the fibers of the atasi tree. According to the Kramadipika, Yasoda's complexion was blackish. She wore a belt around her full hips while churning the butter. The beauty of all of Yasoda's limbs is indicated just by mentioning her wide hips, moving eyebrows, and tinkling bangles. Her arms, tired from churning, and her sweating face both shone. Malati flowers fell like drops of rain from Yasoda's beautiful hair, which was blacker than a rain cloud. Okay. We could read another verse before going to Bhagavad Gita. I think we have some time. So, the next verse. Tam stanyakama asadya matnantim jananim harihi grihitva dadimantanam nyashedat pritimavahan. Tam stanya kama asadya. Tam means her, Yasoda's, stanya, kama, that means desiring to drink her breasts, that means breast milk. Asadya, appearing before her. Who? Krishna. Now what is the position? Krishna is in the next room and he is sleeping. He didn't wake up yet. And Yasoda Mai is in the next room and she is churning the yogurt. Krishna wakes up. So, what do small children, and how old is Krishna? He's 3 years old. What do children do as soon as they wake up? Small children, as soon as they wake up, what do they do? Huh? Cry. And they call out, Mummy. Priyanka Haripriya Mataji knows. Right? So as soon as they wake up, they are looking for the mother. Where is mother? So, and as soon as they wake up, they want to drink the mother's breast milk. So, Krishna woke up and he's seeing, he didn't see his mother. Where did she go? You know, where's my mother? And he wants to drink. He's feeling hungry also. When they wake up in the morning, they feel hungry. So Krishna woke up and seeing, where did my mother go? So he just got down looking for her. And he's hungry. He wants to drink. So he came looking for her. He came to the room where she is churning the yogurt. And he came there for his mother, of course, and he wants to drink her breast milk. That's why in this verse it is said, Tam, that means Yasoda Mai's stanya kama, desiring to drink her breast milk. Tam stanya kama asadya. He came there. Krishna came there. Matnantim jananim harihi. So, and what was happening? Yasoda Mai is churning butter at that time. His mother, Janani. So, Hari is Krishna, most enchanting Lord who steals your heart. Hari. So, Hari, desiring to drink his mother's breast milk, came there. Where? Where his mother was churning yogurt. Matnantim jananim harihi. And then as soon as he came, he said, Mother, like, like addressing her. So he's saying, Mother, don't churn. Stop churning. Why? Because he wants to drink her breast milk. She's standing there and she's churning butter. So he came there and, calling her, he said, Mother, stop churning. And he looked at her. And Yasoda Mai, when she looked at him, this little boy, 3-year-old boy, by seeing her face, the way she looked at him, he could tell that she is willing to accept his proposal. What is his proposal? That she stop her churning so that he can drink her breast milk. So when he said, Mummy, matlab, mother, stop churning. So when he said that, you see, if the children can tell, if the mother is doing something, she's busy in something and she doesn't want to be disturbed. And if children come asking for something, and if she doesn't want to be disturbed, she will look at them in such a way, like a jwalamukhi, they'll get scared and they'll run away. That means she's not going to entertain anything now. She's very busy, so they'll just go away. But that was not the case here. From her expression, Krishna could tell that she's willing, When he said, don't churn, the way she looked at him, he could tell she can accept my request or my proposal. So he got confidence. So when he got confidence that yes, she might agree to what I'm saying, then he went and held the churning rod. Like with his hands, he's stopping, like you stop it now. So first he said, Mother, don't churn anymore. And then she just looked at him and he came and he held the churning rod to stop it, like you stop this now. Then what was Yaśodā Mai's response to that? She felt very happy that wondering at the cleverness of her little boy. He's holding that churning rod to stop her from churning. How clever he is, right? So now she will stop, she will have to stop and she will have to give him milk. And he understood that, she's in a mood now where she will agree if I stop. And then he held her churning rod. So grihitva dadi manthanam, holding that, nyashedat pritim avahan. So nyashedat, that means he stopped her, he forbade her from churning, pritim avahan. And by that, what kind of emotion did he create in Yaśodā Mai? He just increased her affection and love for him because she admired, oh, how clever my little boy is. Like that. So, tam stanya kama asadya matnantim jananim harihi. That means desiring to drink her breast milk, he came there. Where? Where his mother was churning yogurt. So Hari came there and grihitva dadi manthanam, he held the churning rod, nyashedat pritimavahan. And by holding that rod, he forbade her from churning anymore. And by doing this, he just created a situation of love and affection in Yaśodā Mai. So, translation. While Mother Yaśodā was churning butter, Lord Krishna, desiring to drink the milk of her breast, appeared before her, and in order to increase her transcendental pleasure, he caught hold of the churning rod and began to prevent her from churning. Purport. Krishna was sleeping within the room, and as soon as he got up, he became hungry and went to his mother. Wanting to stop her from churning and drink the milk of her breasts, he stopped her from moving the churning rod. So then, what happened after that, we will read tomorrow. But I will read Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's commentary also on this verse. Krishna started crying from hunger upon waking in the morning. Leaving his room, Krishna approached Yaśodā and held the churning rod to indicate she should stop churning and attend to him. Yaśoda's bliss increased unlimitedly upon perceiving Krishna's cleverness. Okay, so we can read Bhagavad Gita now. Does anyone have any discussions on this? Okay, good. So let's read Bhagavad Gita. Yesterday we read. So yesterday what we did was I just made a drawing of the universe to show the various planetary systems, upper, middle, and lower. Specifically, I also showed you the Bhumandala. Within the Bhumandala, so on top of the Bhumandala, how there are 7 islands surrounded by, in concentric circles, 7 islands surrounded by 7 oceans. The central island is Jambudvip. That Jambudvip is divided into 9 varshas. So we are in Bharat Varsha. In the center of this Jambudvip, you have the Mount Sumeru. Yes. And below Mount Sumeru, inside the earth, in the thickness of the earth, you will find the lower planetary systems, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala. And this whole Bhumandala is supported on the Anantasesh. Anantasesh, on whom is laying Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. So on the hood of Anantasesh, this Bhumandala is rested. And Anantasesh is on top of Kurmadev. And Kurmadev is inside Garbhodaka water, like this. So I showed you that yesterday. Why I showed you this? Because first of all, to show where we are at, we are in the Bharatakanda. So I showed you that ice cream cone. And karma is performed here in Bharatvarsha, and that also in Bharatakanda. We do karma and we get the reaction of our karma. In all other places, both on this Bhumandala, in upper planets and in lower planets, you don't do karma and get karmic reaction. Rather, you are only getting the results, like the result of karma done here, you get in these other planets. So now, and even on this earth, except for human beings, animals, insects, and everyone else, that is simply the result of your karma. That is just the result of your karma. Who is making new karma? Human beings in Bharat Khanda. Right? That's why this is called karma bhumi. Here you do karma, and then you get the result of that karma. So when you're doing karma, also you're influenced by the 3 modes. The title of this chapter is the 3 modes of material nature. So if you're doing your karma, being in the mode of goodness, then at the time of death, you will be influenced by the mode of goodness. Then after giving up this body, where will you go? That we saw in the previous verse. That means one who dies in the mode of goodness, he goes to the higher planets of the sages. That means you can go to Satyaloka, Tapoloka, Janaloka, Maharloka. You can go to Swargaloka also. So these higher planets you go if you die in the mode of goodness. Exactly which planet you will go, that depends on how much goodness you have. The more the goodness, the higher the planet. Lesser goodness means you go to lower planets, like that. Lower planets means within the higher planets, there's a hierarchy. So that was said in the 14th verse. Now, 15th verse. Rajasi pralayam gatva karma sangishu jayate tatha pralīnastamasi mudha yonishu jayate. So in this verse, we are seeing what is the destination of one who gives up this body in the mode of passion. And also what is the destination of one who gives up this body in the mode of ignorance. So if your body, that means your subtle body, gross body you already get. At the time of birth you get. Of course, this gross body is also made of the modes only. But your subtle body is changing depending on your exposure to the environment around you, to the type of work you're doing, type of association you're getting, type of food you're eating. All this influences your subtle body. So your subtle body is not always, at the time of birth, whatever your subtle body is, it's not like the same thing. It is being influenced. So therefore, it's not that you're always in goodness. It keeps changing. So at the time of death, whatever, if you are prominently under the influence of the mode of passion, then what will happen? Rajasi pralayam gatva. Pralayam means when you're giving up your body, annihilation of this body. Rajasi means if you're influenced by the mode of passion, rajoguna, then where do you go? Karma sangishu jayate. What is the symptom of the mode of passion? Remember, mode of passion means you have greed, then you have this intense endeavor to do kamya karma. You'll be doing kamya karma. Why? Because you have this hankering for results, material results. So these are the symptoms of rajoguna. There is an intense hankering, longing for material results. And because of that, you have this, you make this prayasa, atyahara prayasa. That means intense endeavor for kamya karma, fruitive activity. That means that work which will give you result. You will work like anything, so many hours a day, 16 hours, 20 hours you'll be working to get a promotion or to be recognized by your boss or to get, to get a hike in your salary, whatever. That means this is a symptom of Rajoguna, or working 2-3 jobs at a time, working on weekends also, so that you can earn more and more. This is a sign of Rajoguna. You want more money, and that means you'll work so much. Why? What type of work you'll do? Fruitive work, which will give you. Now, if you work like that, if you do services like that day and night for the Lord, that's not Rajoguna. That's wonderful. Devotional service, you stay up all night and you're doing, some services. Next day is a festival. So you're cooking, you're making garlands, you're preparing the dress for the deities, making arrangements. That is all transcendental. That's not Rajoguna and Sattva. That is what is needed. At least during festivals, we spend so many hours. But when we get Dhrida Shraddha, we will be like that every day, all the time, like Yaśodā Mai, right? Somewhere, one way or the other, you'll be connected. That is required. But here, when you're influenced by Rajoguna, you're not working so hard for Krishna. You're working so hard for money or something else, some recognition, name, post, position, like that. That is Rajoguna, influence of Rajoguna. Working so much, doing kamya karma for some fruitive result you're working. This is Rajoguna's symptom. If somebody dies in Rajoguna, what will be the destination? He will take birth in such a situation where he will get opportunity to do kamya karma again. That means you'll come back and take birth on this earth only, where you get opportunity to do kamya karma once again. You understand? Sattva-guna symptom is, one is satisfied, there is happiness, there is knowledge, there is illumination. So you go to higher planets and there you get, again, long life and, there is happiness, material happiness, of course. But Rajoguna means working. You want to work more and more. So because you are in that mood, you'll take birth again on this earth where you get opportunities to do kamya karma more and more. You want to work. So you'll continue working like that. That's the destination of one who gives up his body in Rajoguna. He'll take birth on this earth again, where he'll get an opportunity to work. That means he'll take birth as a human being. Karma is done by human beings in Bharat Khanda, is said. So you'll come back and you'll take birth and you'll work again like a workaholic. That's the destination. Okay. Then, tatha pralinas tamasi. If one gives up his body in tamoguna, what happens to him? Mudha yonishu jayate. Mudha yonishu means like animals. But before you take birth in an animal body, what happens to people in tamoguna is, because you're dying in tamoguna, first you will go to hell. You'll get punishment. Because we saw tamoguna means it's pramada. Pramada. That means you're not doing any work. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. At least in Rajoguna, you're doing your particular dharma. Whatever dharma you're supposed to do, you're doing. There is activity. There is pravritti. You're using your energy, you're working. And you're doing your particular dharma. Of course, you're doing that dharma for material result. That's the thing. So here there is intense endeavor. That's not there in Sattva-guna. Sattva-guna's quality is, you do your dharma, but you do it as duty with regulation. You do it with regulation, not hankering for the result. That is the difference. Nishkama Karma Yoga, how one does, he will do his duty with a sense of duty, not for the result. Whether you get good result or bad result, it does not matter. He will continue doing his dharma. Every day at this time, he will do his work. Promotion, no promotion, it does not matter. He is not working for that result. He is doing that for his dharma. You understand? But Rajoguna means you work for result. right? And you're never satisfied. This is also Rajoguna. How much greed is also a symptom of Rajoguna. How much ever you earn, you can go to the highest position, still you're not satisfied. You have to go even higher, even higher. Nowadays, in the world, they think that's a good quality, that you're never satisfied and you go. Such people will actually, become great because they're always working. But that's actually Rajoguna. But the point is, in Rajoguna, you're working for material result. Therefore, you keep working. However, you're doing work, you're doing your dharma. But Tamoguna people, they don't work. They don't want to work. They don't have that incentive. So that's why it's pramada. It's dangerous. You're lazy. You're not doing what is supposed to be done. So what is the result? You'll go to hell. You're given this body and you're supposed to do things with this body. Either you work for material result, or you work for liberation, or you work for bhakti. But use this body, the senses that are given to you. But if you don't use and if you're simply wasting them, that's tamoguna. The result of tamoguna is you'll have to go to hell. First, get punishment there. And after that, then you'll be promoted to some animal body. Mudha yonishu jayate. Mudha yoni means, mudhas means, animals. Like ass, right? Mudha. When one dies in the mode of passion, he takes birth among those engaged in fruitive activities. That means in this human community. And when one dies in the mode of ignorance, he takes birth in the animal kingdom. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Some people have the impression that when the soul reaches the platform of human life, it never goes down again. I hope nobody has such an impression here. That's actually such arrogance to think that. It's simply arrogance. That once we have come to human form of life, we'll never go down. We can do whatever we like. This is incorrect. According to this verse, if one develops the mode of ignorance, after his death, he is degraded to an animal form of life. That means you go down. From there, one has to again elevate himself by an evolutionary process. There you cannot do any karma. After becoming an animal, there is no karma. You simply take the reactions. So in each body, you have to suffer. And you see, even in animals also, it is not like all animals are equal. Some animals meet with accidents and they remain, sometimes they have no legs and things like that. They also suffer, even in the animal body. So you get the reactions of karma in the animal body. From there, one has to again elevate himself by an evolutionary process. Evolutionary process means depending on how much, whatever type of karma you have, you go down to that level. It's not necessary that everybody will start all the way from viruses and then go to bacteria and then to two-celled organisms. Not like that. Depending on your karma, maybe you'll start from a dog or you'll start from a mosquito. Depends wherever you start. And from there, now there is an evolution. From there to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, like that. Higher, higher, higher. Until you come to the human form. Imagine how much time that must take. In each form of life, there is a lifespan, whatever years, 10 years, 20 years, 100 years. And if you become a tree, we were reading in Chaitanya Charitamrita about those tal trees that Lord Ramchandra shot his arrow through. They've been there since Treta Yuga until the time of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Imagine, if you become a tree, you don't know for how many hundreds or even thousands of years you may have to stay. And that is one tree. And then there are so many species, right? Elevation, that's what is called evolutionary process. So then that's why mode of ignorance is very dangerous. Don't go down there. At least mode of passion is better. And from the best thing is don't try to remain in any of these. If you are in the mode of ignorance, try to pick yourself up to the mode of passion. If you are in passion, try to pick yourself to the mode of goodness. If you are in goodness, then try to transcend goodness also, because that is also not a permanent position. It is not a good position to remain permanently. No. Only when you transcend all three modes, then it is a safe place. Otherwise, it is not safe. Even if you are in goodness, you can fall down to passion and ignorance, depending on your circumstances outside. That's why don't be satisfied being in goodness. You should come transcend all three. But to remain in ignorance is most dangerous. Because when you die in the mode of ignorance, you'll take birth in animal forms after suffering in hell. Therefore, those who are actually serious, see Srila Prabhupada is saying, from there one has to again elevate himself by an evolutionary process to come again to the human form of life. Therefore, those who are actually serious about human life should take to the mode of goodness, and in good association transcend the modes. Even goodness you have to transcend and become situated in Krishna consciousness. So how will you come to goodness? They should take to the mode of goodness means that is possible through Daiva Varnashrama Dharma. That's the whole purpose of Daiva Varnashrama Dharma, to keep you in the mode of goodness. And why you want to be in the mode of goodness? So that you will develop Dhrida Shraddha by hearing in the association of devotees. It's not that you permanently stay in Daiva Varnashrama Dharma. That is helping you to come to transcendence. So, those who are actually serious about human life should take to the mode of goodness, and in good association transcend the modes and become situated in Krishna consciousness. This is the aim of human life. Otherwise, there is no guarantee that the human being will again attain to the human status. There's no guarantee. Okay? You can stop here. Does anyone have any questions? No questions. Okay, Rajakishari Mata.
Mataji, is it, as you explained, that when whatever goes in the mode of ignorance, when they start coming up, do they have to start from number 1 to 8,400,000 species?
No.
Or they start from halfway down, or whichever way, as much as their piety is?
Yes. The second one that you said, yes. Depending on wherever you are at, you start from there. It's not like everyone goes to 0. No.
Thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome. Hare Krishna. Okay, so we will end here. Shri Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo
Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah. Thank you, Mataji.